What is going on YouTube? In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to replace a diverter valve on an Alpha Intec 28XE, I believe. However, this diverter valve is in quite a lot of the Alpha models, so hopefully this video helps you out. It is a bit of an instructional video. However, if you aren't gas safe registered or competent, you shouldn't be working on gas boilers. You know how it is. Let's get straight into the video and I hope you enjoy this one. This job is a leaking Alpha Intec 28XE. It's leaking from the right hand side. However, it seems to have stopped at the minute, which is just typical. I've only bought a handful of tools to get this done. With a bit of luck, we've got enough wet vac. See what it is. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like Alpha in the slightest. Parts are expensive. I don't particularly think the boilers are very well designed. They're a bit cheap and naff. Every single time. Start filming, somebody rings. I've already been out to this and diagnosed it, so I already know what it is. The diverter valve. It's leaking from the pin, as do a lot of Combi boilers. So that is what I've picked up. Right here. If I remember, I'll put the part number on the screen. And I think it just literally locks in. I think. I wonder if that's to make it easier to get out. Put an Allen key in there and... because that's a fantastic idea. Never changed one of these before. Again, I don't really work on Alphas. I suppose how else? I was thinking about getting the twin grips on it. I'm just going to push the little clip off to remove the motor out of the way. Yeah. Wet through. Right, I've got to drain the heat in now before we can take that out. Hopefully there'll be a drain off somewhere knocking about. Can we do it on the filling loop? Yes, we can. And there is a drain off on the filling loop, but I'm still going to opt to use the filling loop instead. I mean, it's not exactly clear, but at least it's not shit up black. Last time, it's easy best grease up the O-rings on this so we're ready. That's why the wet vac's in, because no doubt when I take it out, it's going to pee water everywhere. At least we can control it. Lock little clip in, anti-clockwise. That should be ready for pulling out now. It's only attached on with them little lugs there. I'm going to turn the wet vac on and quickly swap this over. Try and get a good camera angle for you. Cables, man. It's just the cables what are trapping it. She's in. Right, I did spill a little bit of water, so I'm just going to wet that guard up so I can make sure everything's dry when we fill back up. That is the old one. You it's in its day. It's all crusty. That was a lifesaver. Do I keep that on the van? Probably not, because I'll probably forget it. Do I leave it inside the boiler? That might be best bet. I'm sure another new one would come with another one of them, wouldn't it? It's quite difficult with all the cables on that other side, but there is lugs there and lugs, so there and there. You've got to slide it in first and then lock it in at the bottom, and that's the motor back on as well. So it should be good for go. I'm putting some pressure back in. We want that between 1 and 1.5 bar. Obviously this is a bit of an instructional video for people. However, you shouldn't be working on gas appliances if you are not gas safe registered or qualified. Hope that makes sense, even though it's only working on the water side of things. The case seal on this boiler is part of the integrity of the boiler, so that needs to be checked, and obviously combustion analysis needs to be performed afterwards. Alright, now because I didn't lop off these valves before doing it, I'm going to have to bleed the radiators upstairs. The reason why I didn't turn these two valves off, which would have meant not having to drain down as much, was because a lot of the time they leak afterwards. Another way draining down, had this not have been on, or that, could have been a radiator with a drain off on, if it has any, or the boiler drain off itself, which is up there. However, again, I don't like touching the integral drain offs if I can help it, because if they start leaking, it's another part. Whereas if one of these valves starts leaking, it's van stock, we can swap it out easily. Right, let's go and check the radiators upstairs. Right, we're happy with that. Now we're ready to turn the power on. Nervous at this point because Alphas have a habit of the board shitting themselves after the power's been turned off. So does other brands of boiler, but these are very expensive if they do that. Plenty of air in it, isn't there? Try the hot water first. Well, you can certainly hear that one fire up. I've no idea how old it is, no idea any service history. This is my first time visiting this job. Another thing I don't like about Alphas is that's the flow and return. The gas is on this side. Like, come on. Nothing like any other boiler. Right, we've got E73, which I'm guessing is an air issue, so I might try and clear it by putting the heating on. I don't know what E73 is without checking. I can hear a lot of air in it and it sounds like the pump's struggling a little bit, and as you can see it's 88 degrees, so we'll reset it, put the heating on, that'll put the diverter valve into heating mode and hopefully it'll circulate around. Running alright on central heating now, it's cleared its air, it's probably made its way up to that towel rail, so we'll bleed it again before we go, check everything's getting nice and warm, and try the hot water again, make sure it doesn't lock out. And that's the flow, and it's sounding a hell of a lot better. It must have cleared its air to that towel rail upstairs. Hello? Dan? Let's try the hot water again. What I don't want is it to go out to that error code again. the amount of people which call me Darren, or Sam, or Ben, or Tom, after my dad. Yeah. Right, let's get the covers put back on. Beautiful. Even the covers are crap to put back on. I'm sorry, Alpha, I'm slating you. It's probably my incompetence.